Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gregory Wallach. I'm professor here at Nctc, North Central Texas College. I'm the lead professor here for the Game Development and Application Programming degree here. This is a certificate program as well as a associate degree program here at NCTC. What you are seeing here right now is presentations of projects that students have produced over this year. The first two will be from my first Unity class, and then so that's representing just a single term. You'll see then three projects from the game simulation class second course, which is the Capstone for the certificate program. This represents students who've had about 2 terms of work underneath their belt in the program. And then finally, you will see the last project will be our Capstone project for this year. So these are students who are graduating from our associate degree program. Again, for the programs you're going to see, the first two, you're going to see they're about 4 weeks of work total, as it was the final project at the end of the fall term. Yeah, with that, again, I'm proud of what my students have done, and you will see that through this presentation. And I'm going to just step back for a moment. I'm going to start introducing students and their projects and let them talk for themselves. I'm going to first start with Nat with Golden Manna.
Hello, my name is Nat. I created this game. It's called Golden Manna. There's a few cool things embedded into it. First of all, I did a little bit of custom rigid body movement. You got your high jump height. You got variable jump heights, and importantly, I added an aspect where you can go up slopes. Normally, it's a little bit difficult just to get the calculations right. But I added a ray cast just right in front of it, so it adds force as long as you go up and it detects a floor. Another thing I added was a dialogue interface where whenever you interact with something, it comes up with a dialogue text right here. You can edit it as you want. And another cool thing is the save system. So I actually put all the save data into individual scenes, and then afterwards I would save them and encrypt them with AES, which is a little bit overkill, but that's just something I wanted to do. For the next stage, I have a couple enemies where you can use the arrow keys to kill some mobs, and then you get, little experience points that level up your fireball spell. Let me see if I can kill this guy. And then right here is a little life upgrade. You get 2 hearts instead of 1. And let me get these because the boss is a little hard here in a second. And I made enough just for you to get up to level 3, and that should be the max for you. It's supposed to be based off Cave Story, so I didn't really get up to level 3, but... And then here's the boss room. He has a dash attack, and he has like a crushing attack, just like that. And it took me a little bit just to get everything in, but... And it's a little buggy sometimes, because sometimes you just get crushed over and over again, but hopefully I can kill him here. Hold on, let me run through the stage again. I should have made his health a little bit more, decrease his health a little bit, but alright, so here's the boss. He has his dash phase. And then sometimes I don't want to get too close to him because he can do that dash, the little crushing attack. But it's pretty cool. I mean, you level up a little bit, you get your weapons leveled up, and then you can. Yeah, I should have decreased his health a little bit, but yeah, there's his crushing attack, and then it's a little bouncy, but a lot of the I did a little bit of research on the Cave Story games, and their movement was a little bouncy. So, and
you've had about a month of work on this project alone, so give yourself some credit here.
Yeah, it's about 4 weeks. And
there was one question from chat already. What do the yellow orbs do?
So the yellow orbs, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but it's right here. It levels up the current weapon that you have. So from level 1, you get this small bullet here, and then once you get to level 2 and 3, you get like a higher damaging and more big bullet.
And then another question from chat. The Minotaur attack reminds me of Tanku Mario with the bandana. Was that an inspiration?
A little bit. It was just more, I just didn't have enough assets at the time, and I was just trying to figure out something to do with it and just make sure it was a little difficult and at the same time fun. Okay. Yeah, and that's my game.
All right, thank you. Okay, and then I'm going to bring Troy up.
Well, hello there, everybody. I'm Troy, and this is my project Dollhouse Party. It's a simple co-op party game with completely normal door mechanics. Nothing happens if you pick a wrong door. Anyways, I brought on a little volunteer, Carol, to be the second player. Firstly, you click on the start button as it goes to a quick how to play. One door lets you proceed to the next room, the rest hinder your progress. Go to each room to find your partner as quickly as you can. And now to start. Very simple right here. The thing I love the most about this game is its unpredictability. And a finishing time of 21 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and play a game because there's another feature that I added where if you press play again, the how to play does not pop up a second time. In total, there are 4 traps that can appear behind a wrong door. Time of 14 seconds. All right, I'm willing to go ahead and take some quick questions right about now. Anyone have any?
Yeah, have you worked on other platforms for this game?
Yeah, I have. I've actually worked on a mobile build for this. It's still very buggy and needs about a month's more development, but it's working.
The animations are from chat. The animations are really good. How did you make them?
I actually used Blockbench to make all of these assets. There's a built-in animation feature to animate these.
Another question from chat. How does the RNG on the doors work?
Well, it uses random.range. The range would be 0 through the number of doors. The number of doors minus 1. It picks one of the doors at random to be the correct door. The rest are automatically traps. Yes, they're both in the same scene.
Another question from Chad. If you had time to expand on this, would you add different model modes?
Yeah, I've actually had ideas for a few different modes for this. Like, at one point I had the idea for like a 2v2 version where the teams were trying to get to the door as quick before the other team to win. Another idea I had would be an endless mode where you had to go through as many doors as possible within a time limit. I think that would be interesting with the RNG mechanics, to see if you can push your luck, like in Balatro.
What chooses the trap? Is that just RNG as well?
Yes, it's completely random. Every time the game is played, the correct door is different, traps included. Like, for example, for a trap door, they could both be traps in 2 different rounds, but let's say one has the trap with the doll in the toilet, while the other is that one that punches you in the face.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me show off my game.
I want to thank Nat and Troy for showing off their projects again, these are projects from the first term. Let's quit the application for right now. The next 3 projects you're going to see are coming from the Game and Simulation 2 class. This is again the capstone for the certificate program. So the students out of this course, coming to this course, have already completed that first course that we've seen these projects from. They've got a good dose of object-oriented programming at a higher level, using objects and hierarchical structures, building and using those structures as provided, such as like Unreal Engine is one of those examples. So they're applied object structure that they're using in C# that they're learning with, as well as other tactics. And then the other half of the course again is this capstone project that you're going to see. The first project in this group is Catabasis. All right, here you go, guys.
Hi, my name is Coulter Wilcox. And I'm Carol Hernandez. This is our game, Catabasis. Now, before I get into the game concept and the other information, we unfortunately did not have enough time to add in art assets to our game. So right now, the game is just going to be running just simple primitives to show off what we wanted to do. So just starting off with that, just to get any questions about art out of the way. So, the game centers around an abandoned robot and an abandoned factory. And you have to make your way down deeper into the factory because you've received an SOS signal. And with each floor, there are more enemies that are harder to deal with, and the levels get more complex. Right now, you're seeing a top-down screenshot of the demo level we made. Player movement. We made movement for both the keyboard and any type of gamepad. For the keyboard, simple WASD movement, as well as just mouse aiming to make the player look to wherever you want it to look. For the gamepad, it's just a twin stick movement, and the camera will always be centered on the player. For the weapon system, we have 2 weapons. The first weapon is our ranged attack, which is just a simple projectile just going in front of you. Our second is our melee attack, which is just a simple cylinder that swings in front of you. And we did use Unity events for our health system. We did this because with events, we could basically just plug in just about anything. And with events, it allows us to use like a lot of the same functions on various types of objects, so we don't have to go around and hard code like absolutely everything. It just makes it a lot easier in general.
This game also incorporates a simple but very flexible AI system for the enemies in the game. And I've also centered these bots around the weapon systems themselves, which only consists of a melee unit and a ranged unit. But all of these bots have 3 different states that they can enter while in the game, which is the roam state, which is from point to point, patrol mode, basically. The chase state, which is attacking the player, and the investigate state, where they go to the last point that the bots have seen the player. I also incorporated a simple detection system as well, using the raycast system. And there are 3 different states that must become true in order for the bot to enter the chase state. And that is being within range of the bot and being within view, or the view arc. And it must be in plain sight of the bot as well, allowing the raycast to actually hit the player. I've also incorporated a event that allows the bots to turn around and look at the player if they are damaged while in a roaming state as well. Basically, immediately triggering the chase state without being in full view of the bot.
Again, quickly.
Right?
Here's our game. Here's our menu. Here's the level. Right here, I'm demonstrating the ranged attack. This first room, I get to demonstrate what Coulter explained earlier about right here, he's attacking me because I attacked it, and now it knows where I am. Chasing, and it's chasing me down. Right here is the melee attack. And the bots can also lose interest on the player if I run from it. See if it's gone. And look at that. Now it went back to roaming because it lost interest on the player.
How Investigate works basically is that it constantly puts down a point on the player position. So as soon as it loses sight of the player, it will no longer put down that point, so it will go towards the last point that it was thrown down. And if it doesn't see the player within a time limit, it will immediately go back to roaming.
Alright, this is supposed to be a bulk storage room. We'll make our way through the level. There's some more enemies we have to take care of, like so. Alright. Right there are more enemies right there. So once we go down to the end of this hallway, there we go. Right there, I'll once again demonstrate. Start shooting at us. Okay. Go through more of the level right here. Could lose interest from it. There you go, and it goes back. Take care of that. Take care of him. There we go. And towards the end of the level, we incorporate it so that the enemies, there'll be some off-screen enemies that'll start shooting at us because they could detect the player from much further away. Just another. Give her a door. Go through the door. Press down the door. Oh, we're getting shot at. Take some cover. Lost interest. Get rid of him. And we made it to the end of the level. And right here's the return button. Go back to the level.
So, some questions. What inspired you to make the game like this?
The initial inspiration was Hotline Miami, which is a top-down shooter game, though it ended up becoming more so like the old arcade game Berserk. It's much more simple, as you could see.
That's what, how Investigate works already. Can the health system be used on anything?
Yes, it can. That's part of why the Unity event system is so flexible, because we could just about put it on anything, and we could just tell it to what it'll specifically do once it loses health.
In fact,
Such as
the doors are actually using the health system as well.
correct. And you know the enemies are using the health system. When we kill them, they're gone, but once the player dies...
Why couldn't you one-shot enemies?
We did originally think of that at first, but considering the fact that we haven't really refined the weapon base yet, and we can pretty much just spam the weapon over and over. No ammo, so kinda make it a little bit too easy.
I'm going to show off the game over state. Once the player is dead, loses all its health, we just get booted back to the main menu.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I noticed that one enemy ended up killing another enemy. So do the enemies have a friendly fire system?
That was just...
That was just more so a quirky side effect of how we developed our collision.
Makes for some very interesting strategies down the line.
But we did make it so that if anyone somehow hurts themselves, then that attack won't register. So like if you somehow hit yourself with your own bullets or your own melee attack, it won't take any damage off from you.
Who designed the level?
I did. It was made to be especially large as well, because this is supposed to be the beginning warehouse level, where large, empty, scattered with.
How did you come up with the name Catabasis?
in the original concept, we were thinking about having the player go deeper and deeper into the factory, further down into the ground. The original name kind of basically means a descent into hell or the underworld. We were planning on making the levels far more difficult.
Any other questions?
Come up closer.
Alright, you said that was like a warehouse.
Yes.
Correct.
So, you said you were going to descend further down. So, how many levels would this factory have per se?
Well, we never really thought about like a concrete number of how many levels this would be. But if you really want like an estimate, you might say maybe definitely over 10 or 12. We're not sure, but we didn't think that far ahead.
But as you would go down, you would encounter like labs, cave systems, sort of like that. As time goes on.
Whatever dark secrets the factory may hold. Good. All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
That's it.
Hang out for the next group. Next game we have is a platformer, but they take it in such a radical different way. It's really, really interesting. I'm going to bring up the Prism platform group now.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Jacob Sewell,
I'm Morgan Baker.
And I'm Kyle Kauser.
and this is our game, Prism Platform. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so game concept of Prism Platform is seemingly quite simple. Your character has a magical pair of glasses that, by swapping the lenses in them, will reveal various elements of the level to interact with. Despite the simplistic nature of our game's gimmick, it can allow for some very interesting puzzles for the player to solve. As shown on screen, there are two pictures. One shows the level with no lens equipped, as the player is met with a seemingly impassable jump to make, until they equip the red lens, revealing a platform to allow the player to reach the goal. Here we have a visual demonstration of the swapping of the lenses in action. When changing lenses, you'll probably notice firstly that the background changes color to match the color of the lens you currently have active. We decided to have the background change with the lens to quickly convey which lens was active. Along with the background, you might have noticed that the player character's glasses also change to match as well. It's just a fun little design bit. Yeah, please stop. There we go. Boop.
Along with changing the world, Prism Platform also offers a few other puzzle elements to interact with the world. Levers and buttons can open the way forward in the different world, and can show up or disappear depending on the lens picked.
To go further on that, one aspect of our game that was a bit difficult to get right was how objects interact with each other in between lenses. As shown on the screen, we can see that there is a wall that is currently impassable to the player, with the goal on the other end. But by swapping over to the yellow lens, a lever is revealed, So, when the player flicks the lever, it opens the door, allowing them to make their way to the goal. This interaction, although simple, allows for much more complex puzzles than we can implement otherwise. This was probably one of the more difficult aspects of our game to implement.
Prism Platform follows the standard WASD control with A and D to move and W to jump. Q and E allows the player to scroll through the lens colors, E picking the next lens, and Q allowing the player to pick the previous lens. To interact with the world, the player can use the N key. The best way to remember this is to remember N for interact. I know, I'm clever. Boop.
I am the lead artist of this project. Several of the custom sprites were drawn by me. This includes the teleporter, the buttons, the flags, the levers, and most importantly, the player character. I even helped with the concept of some of the levels. These are a few. As you see here with the left thing, the point of this is to change is to get to the button to activate a platform to get up onto the surface and jump forward and get to the other button to remove that wall to get to the teleporter. The hardest thing to get right was the player character and to change his lenses for me.
Alrighty. Next up, gameplay and Q&A. That's the way. Pretty good. I'll do a majority of the talking. I just want to play slowly.
Welcome to Prism Platform.
As you can see, we have a fairly simple but very well designed main menu by our lovely Morgan. If my friend Kyle would start the game, we'd love to show you exactly how it goes. So, WSD AD to move. Well, not A, but W jump, S and D move sideways. Not too complex, I hope.
A simple little section of the first level to show off the simple movement. And now we reach a dead end. If Kyle could press E.
It was seemingly a dead end, but now it is clear. It is merely a path yet
to be uncovered.
Yet to be uncovered, yes. Now, there we go. He already understood the objective of needing to swap lenses in order to continue forward.
But now we're met with another dead end.
And the red lens doesn't seem to be helping us here.
Luckily, we have yellow, which shows us some platforms. And a switch.
Flipping the switch with the N key removes the door previously blocking the way.
Oh.
Yes, sometimes the controls can be a little finicky, but they are very good.
And a button.
This button, seemingly, well, if Kyle wishes to attempt to press it, as you can see, it opens the door, like the switch. But if you step off it,
it doesn't stay open. As Kyle was about to demonstrate, we have a box above.
And by pushing it down, sometimes the box can get a little finicky.
It's a prototype.
It's a prototype.
We had 6 weeks.
But the button can also be activated by the box. It would also help if I could talk. Now, on to the next section.
Now we have a different type of platform.
These ones are alt colors. These ones kind of work inverse to the regular platforms that previous puzzles had shown before.
If Kyle tries to jump forward while the lens was blue, he would find that there's no platform there.
As it disappears when the blue lens is active. Likewise for the alt yellow and alt red platforms. In this section, he's gonna have to swap between the lenses in a pattern that allows him to pass between these obstacles by making them gradually disappear. He fell into the pit of death, failing to do that, but luckily we have a checkpoint nearby.
Yes, we did need to go over that. Yellow.
Oh. The platforming in this section can be a little tight. Okay.
Player swap.
Alright.
Red.
Sometimes the platforms can be a little finicky at times. So I guess while we struggle to do this, are there any questions anyone would like to ask?
I do hope that that platform is working.
I'll go first. Do you have any plans to make this more to address accessibility for colorblind friendliness?
Current form, not quite, as there are multiple different forms of colorblindness that would have to be accounted for. But now that you bring it up, that certainly is a goal that we'd love to address. Which could be an interesting challenge. But anyways, now we're here at the end. Boop.
And we beat the prototype.
Da 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 da.
Were there any enemies planned for your game, or?
Oh, no, we have no enemies planned for the game. The focus is primarily on the puzzles themselves. Oh, sorry, I just completely skipped over the wonderful credits, also made by our lovely Morgan. And I hope you all also,
Any other questions?
enjoyed.
What gave you most trouble developing this?
What gave us the most trouble, developing this?
Probably.
The colors were big besides trouble.
No, that was actually pretty easy.
Really?
Yeah, actually, implementing the colors, I did that. It was actually relatively easy. How that function works is there are kind of 3 objects that represent each of the lenses. To swap between them, it's a simple case of deactivating and reactivating the desired lens object.
You actually have a fourth still.
Yeah, we actually do have a 4th one, which we implemented in order to make the alt platforms work. This is activated when no lens is active. But back to the original question. I would have to say this part right here is the most difficult. Because due to how the lenses work, every object within the lens is deactivated whenever it is turned off. So
Make it persistent.
yeah, we need to keep some things persistent. So we looped some variables through the game manager to make it keep track of these things. So that way, whenever you turn the yellow lens on and off, that door stays open and the switch stays on.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you guys. Thank you. Great work.
Thank you.
Starrett, and
My name is Nachu, and this is our game Kingdom Zesting.
so the goal is to survive against 5 waves of enemy before they reach the exit. You're going to use towers to defend the exit point, and earn gold by eliminating enemies to therefore place more towers.
So we have 3 enemies, most of which you probably won't see, but it's the first one's the peasant, which is marked by the green indicator. Next one's the citizen, which is marked by the blue indicator, and then the queen, which is marked by the red indicator. The citizen, it has low health. We have the cash earned set at 20, and then the citizen, it has medium health, and then it runs once it hits a certain amount of health, and you get 35 cash once you kill it. And then the queen, it actually acts as a necromancer, and it spawns more peasants throughout the game, and it has high health, runs, and it also has a cash earned of 60 gold.
There's 5 towers. There's the standard archer, which is just like a direct shot. Then you got the ballista, which is just a stronger version of the archer. As it says. And then you got the cannon, that's an explosive area effect. You got the poison, that is also an area effect, but it has a damage over time, so it leaves a poison trail behind. Then you got the wizard, which is magic, and it applies slow to the enemies.
So we have a map set up here. It has both two enemy spawn points and 1 enemy exit point. Once it hits the exit point, it will take damage to the player, and then the spawn points, we have set it up to react with the wave manager, which we created with a scriptable object. Every time that it runs, the scriptable object runs, and it counts the hordes of enemies that come across.
So players can actually possess the tower to go into like first person. You can possess the tower by right-clicking on it, and when you're in the possessed state, it no longer shoots on its own, and you can shoot it, and the damage is increased by, what was it, 3 times? 3 times the normal damage.
So when you left-click on a tower, you can upgrade it. There's multiple upgrade paths. There's an upgrade path where you can increase your damage rate. There's an upgrade path where you can increase its fire rate and range, and it goes up to 4 levels. And yeah, that's it so far.
Well, this is the main menu screen here. So the game is a prototype, and it was, we only did have 6 weeks, so it is a little imbalanced. So here's obviously the main gameplay scene. You have access to the towers here on the right. So you can go ahead and you just place it anywhere that there are not rocks, so anywhere there's no collision around here. And then you can right-click it. Possess, and then left click here on the tower to upgrade it, and you can also sell it. So you'll notice whenever the enemies run outside the exit point, your health's going to go down by 1. And at the end of the wave, you get a little cash bonus in case you don't kill anybody. Don't kill enough. So as you can see, all the enemies, every time one goes through, you lose an H, lose a health, and that's pretty
we have for the next wave. A couple questions already in chat. People like how the buttons pop in and out, like to the main menu. Was BTD an inspiration? Is one of the first questions.
Yes, I think so. Balloon Tower Defense.
Yeah, it was an inspiration just to make the concept of the game, but for the buttons in and out, I don't think it was just from BTD.
Oh, I didn't see that animation before. Cool.
Yeah, all the death animations were from Maximo. You just import a character model and then you just search whatever animation you like and you can just import it that way. So the game's about to end here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we only had enough. The balancing wasn't very good, so we could really only showcase just the Archer Tower.
And then obviously, yeah, when you hit play again,
Yeah,
it gives you more money. So that was another
I
thing.
wish we could showcase more, but that's about it.
Yep, that's it.
So questions will again as things go on. Did you pull being able to control towers from anything in particular? Yeah, the possession of the towers. Where did that come from in terms of the concept?
Just from an idea, it just came from just like maybe you wanted to be more active in the gameplay instead of.
Would you say that was like one of the core concepts when you started developing this?
It was until I got to the point where we went into balancing, and then it got into more of a theoretical sort of view where.
Yeah. Again, you've had only 6 weeks, so I mean, things being out of whack and not balanced right now. I mean, like you have a really good prototype right now in terms of art and other assets. So that being things a little out of whack right now is perfectly fine for where you are in the project.
Yeah, I mean, we could have showed off more, but it's whatever.
Everyone can show off a lot more in their projects.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
already ready, but.
That's it.
Any other questions for the team? All right, thank you, guys.
I have a quick question. If you were given like one more week of time, what would you improve of the game?
If we had a whole another hour of time, we probably would have gotten a drink.
It was just small things, honestly. It was last minute.
Like what?
Too much.
The fact that we could show off all of the towers actually, but there's a lot of stuff that we could have showed off, but we just didn't have enough time.
Okay.
Yeah, like you just can't get enough money.
Yeah.
So, like, you would increase maybe the amount of the effectiveness of like the Archer Tower, maybe?
Start off with more money. That was the big change. Just start off with more money so you could make it through the first wave easily. Once you get past the first wave, it was smooth sailing from there.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I want to thank those from the last 3 projects. Again, these are the students who came out of Game Simulation 2 class. These are all the Capstone certificate projects. So again, this is students who are finishing the first year of the program effectively. So I want to thank them, give them a round of applause for their work. Want to point you guys out. Thank you. I want to point you guys out. Hey, most of you I'm going to see next year in the portfolio in the Capstone course. So you should start thinking about what you might want to do for a Capstone project. Today, with today's Capstone project, again, other videos from the previous Nctc Directs will give you an idea what was produced. So you guys are effectively on the clock for next year already, if we want to use draft parlance terms. So again, thank you guys. Now we are going to switch over to our last project, which is going to be our Capstone project. Again, these are a team of 2 who have worked on this really effectively from November when the concept was established. Yeah, I'm going to say early November is where you guys solidified the concept. and then have been working their behinds off since then. You guys got a working prototype, what, February?
Super early.
Yeah, super early. You had working, and that's something that I'm pointing out for future classes, for people watching, that they got their prototype nailed really early, and then within 2 months, basically got your content in, and was just polishing this last like 4 weeks, basically. Is that, yeah. So, let me grab your slides. There we go. Okay. All right. All right. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the. Hold on. I've got to make a change.
A little bit more further ado.
Yeah. There we go. Get the correct title for you guys. Thank you. There you go. All right. Okay. So further ado, here is the cleaning duty, our capstone project this year.
Hello, I am Nathaniel Robinson, and this
I
is
am Patrick Price.
we are the cleaning crew, and we made this game called Cleaning Duty. We were inspired by point-and-click games from the 90s, like Pajama Sam and Day of the Tentacle. Albeit not a point-and-click, we were also inspired by the silly aesthetic of Luigi's Mansion.
In this game, you play as a disheveled cleaner named Gorg. He gets a call in the dead of night to a ghastly mansion. Unfortunately for him, it's a prank. He's then trapped in the house with residents that want him to do their dirty work. Can you survive the trial of unpaid labor?
This is a pretty basic point-and-click, where you get items and solve puzzles. There's a small twist, though. You have to play cleaning minigames to progress. With the cleaning minigame, we had to make a bitmap image of the residue to be wiped away. Then each pixel of the image is erased. This was a huge technical challenge because it would slow the game down considerably. This has since been fixed and now runs like butter.
Though this is considerably more simple, the dusting minigame requires you to wipe away dust mites. The mites shake rapidly as if they were alive, and the calculations based on how fast you move the mouse is how fast they go away.
Given time, we would love to make this a full release. We probably won't take funding, but you can at least give us your blessings. All right, let's get this set up. Thank you.
I did have a link in the folder for you guys. Oops. Granted, they just copy and paste a link into the browser. They are on a website called Itch.io, which is, after Steam, this is probably the biggest distribution of games on the internet right now. And you guys are ready to go and just run the game.
All right.
Zoom in. Uh-oh. You haven't loaded yet.
There we go.
So they are playing out of the browser from the Itch.io website.
Make sure it sounds good on stream. All right, let's begin.
Bless you.
And look where we have gone. It's like a basement. Whew. So this
guy clearly is not the owner. Does he live here or what?
Definitely has way too much eyes.
All right. So, you must clean to satiate their needs. Though thankfully he's a cleaner, so how convenient. And here's the dust mites. Whew. All right. Pretty basic tutorial. Eat the worm? Looks a little radioactive to me. What about you, Patrick?
I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
He's feeding a little too into peer pressure, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh well. Sure that doesn't have any side effects. Alright. So, this game was a very big undertaking. Especially for me, because I did a lot of this. All the backgrounds, the music, clearly. Most of the program, Patrick was here for me.
I was there.
Yeah. It was very off and on. I'd like to think the developments wanted to start like around January, because in November we were with a whole different team, basically.
In November, we had like a 5-person team.
Yeah. So it kind of fell through, but fell back into place.
Yeah, by end of November, we had established who was going to be on the team.
So everything worked out, thankfully. Try asking again. Alright. Ah. Number was taken over. Alright.
Question from chat: why the long face rug or windows in this case?
Oh, a lot of them are like that.
Also, why is he green now? Because people are confused why he's turned.
I mean, he did eat something green. You are what you eat.
Effectively, he has been turned into a ghost.
Something like that.
Something like that.
His favorite food is sandwiches? How weird. I think it'd be like bugs or something with that blowing man. That thing on his face. Alright, let's see what's all around here. So you have an inventory, nothing in it yet because you got nothing. And you can quit at any time. If you do quit, you'll be put right back in game if you restart.
Of course, you guys get the
anyways,
cutscene.
yeah, but nothing else changes. Alright, let's start looking around. Alright. Binary, huh? Okay, well, I don't think we have time to read all of this.
That's a
but
lot of big words.
there's a little thing saying important. Let's keep that in mind for later. What whose pet it is? Alright. What is this guy's problem?
He's my favorite character, Logan.
Calm down, buddy. Not that big of a deal. You're not going anywhere. imagine a fun chipper tune. Got anything else to say? Such is the life of a programmer, isn't it? Ooh, that's gonna be fun. All right. Bye. Ones and zeros. I guess we'll come back to that. One, two, three, 4. Wonder what that's about.
Maybe he has to do something with that book.
I mean, it did have a 4 in it. You are correct. Hey, speaking of free labor. Yeah, okay, sure. Sure, it's playing off that off nice. Oh, how cute. Scary.
No.
Anything else? What is bro saying? Without light. I think I have an idea.
Want to test that theory?
Let's try it out. What do these do though? Ooh, turns off the lights. So if it's 1, 0, 0, that's 4, right?
Yep.
Okay.
If my knowledge serves me right.
Memory. Let's see. Ooh.
You got yourself an item.
Don't get electrocuted now. And that is your first item. Well, we don't know what it's used for yet, but hey, it's a start. Woo. That's a good gag. Ooh, that's scary. Oh yeah? You wanna know what I think about that? Get out of here.
Go away. We don't need that type of negative energy in the ghoul's bathroom.
Get out of here. No thanks. And yeah, he's gone. Thank heavens.
Ooh. Okay, but
That gave me a scare. Alright, let's keep looking around. Whoa. That's a cool guy. Yeah, was he like some kind of mobster?
Does have an Italian accent.
He owns all the money. Curious. Is that all he does? He probably would work better as a therapist.
Maybe.
Doesn't seem that mean. Not yet, at least.
That room definitely does look fun.
Let's try it out. I don't know. Maybe on second thought. Let's
Sounds
not
like
do
something
that.
out of American Ninja Warrior.
Backflip through all that. Who's this young little lad? Oh, you're one of those. Nice and zappy. You know what? That's fair. So we have a fire elemental, but not an electric one? Curious.
Apparently not. I'm pretty sure this is the last room we need to explore.
I believe it is. That's a lot of torches.
Ooh, boy.
You know what? Let's change that. There we go. That's
Now there's 3. You can see.
Thank heavens. What is your problem? Oh man, I don't know who did this. That's strange.
I think he's just
I
an
think he's
innocent
innocent.
bystander.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I think he's just a bystander.
Oh,
Wrong
well,
place,
let's
wrong
leave him
time.
to his own duties. Now, she said something about zappy things.
What do we have in our inventory?
Let's try it out. Well, nothing? Ah, trickster.
Gonna wipe
Oh,
a smile
no.
off her face?
Don't tempt me.
We may just do that.
Get it out of here. Pocket change. Is that considered bullying?
Hey, hey. We got
Whatever
money.
works. We gotta get out
Whatever
of here.
works.
Now,
Sooner
we
back
got
to
some
normal, the
pocket
better.
change. Well, there's money right there. Oh, let's try it out. He did say he hoards all the money.
Might as well add it to his buns and supply of cash.
What pay?
Who says we're getting paid?
The bills? Sandwich. Oh, we're taking a lunch break. Wow.
Nice.
Well, someone did say they liked sandwiches.
And we're not hungry, so.
Is that a lettuce and bread sandwich? Huh. Okay.
Have you ever tried one of those? They're really good.
Will do. Well, let's see what you like. Oh my god, ravenous.
Gorging himself.
Oh. Someone was talking about a key.
And that's a really muscular key.
Let's try it out. I hope so.
The boy is
Alright.
off
Let's
to
see
do
what's up
his
here.
stuff.
Nothing. That's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
But we do have a little Easter egg. Look up. That is our concept art.
Just in case we ever want to do anything more, we have stuff to work on.
We have stuff worked on.
Cool.
We'll see.
Batman.
All right. Let's go back to the slideshow.
Let's go back to the slides real quick.
And I think we're good to take over again.
Alright.
That's about it.
So
You can play it now, even.
A couple of things from go through. People were commenting about binary. People thought he was a lizard. Lots of talking. How did you make the conversation system?
We used ink,
Yeah.
actually. It's just a lot of
You
ink.
want to talk about your history with ink?
So, essentially, last year we did a game called A Normal Day. That was at least my dip into ink. And what I wanted to do was bring it along here and try to expand on what we did there. And Nate was a really big help on that.
Yeah. Oof. I've worked with conversational systems before, so I basically just moved everything I've done into that. So it was fairly simple, but it worked out in the end, and that's what I'm happy about. So, anything else?
The fire was a good sign. The fun room wasn't fun looking.
I don't know. Have you tried it?
One paycheck already lost. Talking about the money.
Oh man, yeah.
The key looks like a bottle opener.
Could be.
I mean, you could use it. It's muscular.
True.
Brute force it
Any other
open.
questions from here in the room?
Any other questions?
Any questions?
Did you do the graphics?
Oh, I use like a couple different programs. One for sketching, like because I have a tablet. One for doing the actual pixels, and then one for animating specifically. I really want to suggest Piskel. It is an online browser tool, and you can download it. It lets you onion skin between pixel art frames, so it's so good.
As someone who was brought onto it, it is very easy and quick to learn.
Yeah, I plugged him on it, so woo. I think we are good.
All right.
Is there one more? No,
No,
that's
that's
it. Cool.
want to give the Capstone crew a round of applause for their work. Again, for everyone here, I want to give you guys a round of applause as well. Thank you for, again, all you've done a lot of work over a small amount of time, a lot of you over a small amount of time. The Capstone crew, I can see Nathan. I can see it. I can see all that off your chest now. Yeah, it's been a long year for you, particularly for you two. It's been a long year with the Caps, but like you guys, again, you were ahead of the curve with getting your prototype in order, and it was in just polishing and adding content and improving content. And yeah, I mean, you were playable through 2 weeks ago.
I'd wage even further, but yeah, basically. Very proud of that.
Any guys? Any comments from you guys? Again, those of you who did the Game Simulation 2 project, these are the Capstone certificate Capstone projects. You guys are on the clock for next year for the Capstone. So now is the time to start thinking about what you might want to do. Again, you've got an example of a really good example of what you can do with your Capstone. Last year's Capstone, again, you guys can look at last year's videos and the video from the year before of what was also produced. This is going to bring our presentation of the NTC Show Games to a close. I want to thank everyone who's shown up here today in person, those who showed up in chat. Again, to those who, as soon as the stream comes to a close, it will become video on demand on YouTube. So those of you who are, again, the Capstone first year, this will be a video that you can use in your portfolio right away after, literally when we're done, you'll be able to embed it into your portfolio. Again, this has been the presentation of a student project here at North Central Texas College, specifically from the Game Development and Application Programming degree. We are, again, a certificate program and a more slanted towards the associate's degree program. Again, I'm Professor Wallach, Gregory Wallach. I'm the point person basically for these programs. I'm the one overseeing and maintaining the curriculum here at North Central Texas College. Again, we start classes. We go with a cohort system here, where you start basically mostly in the fall. You can start in the spring and then jump on to the next group coming in the fall. But again, we will have classes again starting this fall with a new group of students. So for those who are interested, subscribe to our channel. You'll also see that on our channel, if you look through the NTC Game Development channel, that there's a lot of videos posted from lectures as well. And that's something that we've been doing for our students as well. Again, from here, everyone from the NCT here on Corinth campus, this has been Professor Wallach. I want to thank everyone who watched, everyone who's been here live, watching, or will be. Thank you so much.